Hello, welcome to We Know Nothing, where we know absolutely nothing. And welcome back to Good Old Book Club. We are still continuing with the Kybalion. Today we are getting into Chapter 4. Let's take a look. What is Chapter 4 today? We are going to get into the All. We're going to get into some juicy stuff here. So if you have your book, please grab it. And actually, before we even get into this, let me say, if you would rather listen to this on podcast format, if you don't like watching YouTube videos or if you have YouTube Premium, you can just turn off your phone and listen to this podcast style. But we do have these videos in podcast format. So I will link all of that below. We've got Google and Apple and Anchor and I don't even know, Facebook podcast. We got so many things. I will link that all below for you to go and click if you enjoy podcast format. Anywho, thank you so much for listening and having fun. Let's just learn. Let's learn some stuff today. All right, here we go. Under the back of the universe of time, space, and change is ever to be found the substantial reality, the fundamental truth, the Kybalion. Substance means that which underlies all outward manifestations, the essence, the essential reality, the thing in itself, etc. Substantial means actually existing, being the essential element, being real, etc. Reality means the state of being real, true, enduring, valid, fixed, permanent, actual, etc. Now let's just take a quick side note already. What is real? What is reality? Do we ever really know? Does this actually ever really know what is real? What is actually existing? I feel like it's just uncomprehendable, unknowable for us to really know what reality is. But hey, that's just a little side note. Under and behind all outward appearances or manifestations, there must always be a substantial reality. This is the law. Man, considering the universe of which he is a unit, sees nothing but change in matter, forces, and mental states. He sees that nothing really is, but that everything is becoming and changing. Nothing stands still. Everything is being born, growing, dying. The very instant a thing reaches its height, it begins to decline. The law of rhythm is in constant operation, and there's no reality, enduring quality, fixity, or substantiality in anything. Nothing is permanent but change. He sees all things evolving from other things and resolving into other things. A constant action and reaction, inflow and outflow, building up, tearing down, creation and destruction, birth, growth, and death. Nothing endures but change. And if he be a thinking man, he realizes that all these changing things must be outward appearances or manifestations of some underlying power, some substantial reality. All thinkers in all lands and in all times have assumed the necessity for postulating the existence of this substantial reality. All philosophies worthy of the name have been based upon this thought. Men have been given to this substantial reality many names. Some have called it by the term of deity, under many titles. Others have called it the infinite and eternal energy. Others have tried to call it matter, but all have acknowledged its existence. It is self-evident. It needs no argument. In these lessons, we have followed the example of some of the world's greatest thinkers, both ancient and modern, the Hermetic masters, and have called this underlying power, this substantial reality, by the Hermetic name of the All, which term we consider the most comprehensive of the many terms applied by man to that which transcends names and terms. We accept and teach the view of the great Hermetic thinkers of all times, as well as of those illuminated souls who have reached higher planes of being, both of whom assert that the inner nature of the All is unknowable. This must be so, for not by the All itself can comprehend its own nature and being. The Hermetists believe and teach that the All in itself is and must ever be unknowable. They regard all the theories, guesses, and speculations of the theologians theologians, and metaphysicians regarding the inner nature of the all as but the childish efforts of mortal minds to grasp the secret of the infinite. Such efforts have always failed and will always fail, from the very nature of the task. One pursuing such inquiries travels around and around in the labyrinth of thought until he is lost to all sane reasoning, action, or conduct, and is utterly unfitted for the work of life. He is like the squirrel which frantically runs around and around the circling treadmill wheel of his cage, traveling ever and yet reaching nowhere, and at the end of a prisoner still, and standing just where he started. And still most presumptuous are those who attempt to ascribe to the all the personality, qualities, and properties, characteristics, and attributes of themselves, ascribing to the all the human emotions, feelings, and characteristics, even down to the pettiest qualities of mankind, such as jealousy, susceptibility to flattery and praise, desire for offerings and worship, and all the other survivals from the days of the childhood of the race. Such ideas are not worthy of grown men and women, and are rapidly being discarded. Side note. So remember in, the last chapter, I had talked about the all being referred to as, let's just call it God, because I feel like that is the most popular in this world. And that is true that the God of, let's say, the Bible kind of does have those petty human-like qualities and characteristics. Praise, the desire for offerings and worship. In the Bible, they sacrificed animals and you have to worship God and things like that. Those are human emotions and characteristics, not the power of everything. I mean, if you think about it, isn't that a little odd that the creator of everything would require sacrifices and worship and things like that? Why is it so... There's too many rules to it, Like, it's not infinite enough. It's not open enough, at least in my opinion, in my eyes. But all right, let's go here. At this point, it may be proper for me to state that we make a distinction between religion and theology, between philosophy and metaphysics. Religion to us means that intuitional realization of the existence of the all and one's relationship to it, while theology means the attempts of men to ascribe personality, qualities, and characteristics to it, their theories regarding its affairs, will, desires, plans, and designs, and their assumption of the office of middlemen between the all and the people. Philosophy to us means the inquiry after knowledge of things knowable and thinkable, while metaphysics means the attempt to carry the inquiry over and beyond the boundaries and into regions unknowable and unthinkable, and with the same tendency as that of theology. And consequently, both religion and philosophy mean to us things have roots in reality, while theology and metaphysics seems like broken reeds rooted in the quicksands of ignorance, and the affording naught but the most insecure support for the mind or soul of man. We do not insist upon our students accepting these definitions. We mention them merely to show our position. At any rate, you shall hear very little about theology and metaphysics in these lessons. That which is the fundamental truth, the substantial reality, is beyond true naming, but the wise men call it the all, the Kybalion. In its essence, the all is unknowable, the Kybalion. But the report of reason must be hospitably received and treated with respect, the Kybalion. The human reason, whose reports we must accept so long as we think at all, informs us as follows regarding the all, and that without attempting to remove the veil of the unknowable. Number 1, the all must be all that really is. There can be nothing existing outside of the all, else the all would not be the all. Number 2, the all must be infinite, for there is nothing else to define, confine, bound, limit, or restrict the all. It must be infinite in time, or eternal. It must have always continuously existed, for there is nothing else to have ever created it. And something can never evolve from nothing. And if it had ever not been, even for a moment, it would not be now. It must continuously exist forever, for there's nothing to destroy it, and it can never not be, even for a moment, because something can never be nothing. It must be infinite in space. It must be everywhere, for there is no place outside of the all. It cannot be otherwise than continuous in space, without break, secession, separation, or interruption, for there is nothing to break, separate, or interrupt. It's continuity and nothing with which to fill in the gaps. It must be infinite in power or absolute, for there is nothing to limit, restrict, restrain, confine, disturb, or condition it. It is subject to no other power, for there is no other power. Number 3, the all must be immutable, or not subject to change in its real nature, for there is nothing to work changes upon it, nothing into which it could change, nor from which it could have changed. It cannot be added to, nor subtracted from, increased nor diminished, nor become greater or lesser in any respect whatsoever. It must have always been, and must always remain, just what it is now, the all. There has never been, it is not now, and never will be anything else into which it can change. Wow, okay, let's just take a break and try to process this. The concept of infinite, is something that is truly mindfuckery. Mindfuckery, we're just going to go with that. It really, if you sit and think about the infinite amount of space, right? Like space, outer space, let's say. And it just goes on and on and on. And there's no ending. It's very overwhelming. The infinite amount of time, how there has to have had something to exist, always. Because without something existing, whether it just be like a little ball of energy or whatever, if nothing existed, nothing could be created. You know what I mean? There always had to have been something, so it's always infinite. And there always will be something. And even if there's nothing, there's going to be something, because it's just a lot. So if you can wrap your brain around that, yeah, that's good job. Let's continue. The all, being infinite, absolute, eternal, and unchangeable, it must follow that anything finite, changeable, and fleeting, and conditioned cannot be the all. And as there is nothing outside of the all, in reality, then any and all such finite things must be as nothing in reality. Now, do not become befogged, nor frightened. We are not trying to lead you into the Christian Science field under cover of Hermetic philosophy. There is a reconciliation of this apparently contradictory state of affairs. Be patient, we will reach it in time. We see around us that which is called matter, which forms the physical foundation for all forms. Is the all merely matter? Not at all. Matter cannot manifest life or mind, and as life and mind are manifested in the universe, the all cannot be matter, for nothing rises higher than its own source. Nothing is ever manifested in an effect that is not in the cause. Nothing is evolved as a consequent that is not involved as an antecedent. And then modern science informs us that there is really no such thing as matter, that what we call matter is merely interrupted energy or force. That is, energy or force at a low rate of vibration. As a recent writer has said, matter has melted into mystery. Even material science has abandoned the theory of matter, and now rests on the basis of energy. Then is the all mere energy or force, not energy or force as the materialists use the terms, for their energy and force are blind, mechanical things, devoid of life or mind. Life and mind can never evolve from blind energy or force, for the reason given a moment ago. Nothing can rise higher than its source. Nothing is evolved unless it is involved. Nothing manifests in the effect unless it is in the cause. And so the all cannot be mere energy or force, for if it were, then there would be no such things as life and mind in existence, and we know better than that, for we are alive and using mind to consider this very question. So are those who claim that energy or force is everything. What is there then higher than matter or energy that we know to be existent in the universe? Life and mind. life and mind in all their varying degrees of unfoldment. Then, you ask, do you mean to tell us that the all is life and mind? Yes and no, is our answer. If you mean life and mind as we poor petty mortals know them, we say no, the all is not that. But what kind of life and mind do you mean, you ask? The answer is living mind, as far above that which mortals know by those words. As life and mind are higher than mechanical forces or matter, infinite living mind as compared to finite life and mind. We mean that which the illumined souls mean when they reverently pronounce the word spirit. The all is infinite living mind. The illumined call is spirit. And that is the end of chapter 4. So now we are really getting into kind of the mystical, spiritual part of the science of it. We're getting into spirit. What is spirit? We're talking about, spirit could also be referred to as soul, right? So the infinite living mind in the all is the soul. From what my comprehension of this is, we have an infinite soul. Now, I'm not saying that like let's say you're born on Earth here, right? I'm not saying that you're not potentially reincarnated. Like I feel like, energy is constantly being transmuted and changed. So your soul might not necessarily just be you. I feel like it's a culmination of everything. Like we are all connected. Our souls kind of form into one. I mean, that can go on and on. You believe what you want to believe. But it is saying that there is soul. There is spirit. I mean, where does our mind come from? Where does consciousness come from? Is it simply just a robotic mechanism? I don't think so. And neither does the Kybalion. So that was a fun chapter. Let me know your thoughts below. Again, if you like podcast format, I will link that in the description. And thank you so much. Stay tuned for the next chapter. We're really getting deep into this. So have a fantastic day.